We're going to talk about our love story coming up.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to an all-new edition of the Sunday Night Sit Down with America's #1 money couple. I'm Talent.
And I'm Ty, and we're from hisandhermoney.com, where we're managing money, marriage, and everything in between.
So we wanted to talk to you guys about our love story.
I'm like cheesing here, like smiling from ear to ear.
I see it.
Even almost 12 years later, guys, he still puts a smile on my face.
I do my best.
Yes.
We want to talk about our love story because a lot of you might look at His and Her Money, Talent and Ty McNeely today and have no idea how this whole thing started. So instead of taking you to the future like we always love to do, we're going to take you back and rewind the clock a little bit.
That's right, guys. Well, our story actually begins when we were in high school. Yes.
Right.
I was 13.
Yeah.
You were 13.
13.
Yeah, you had to be 13. We were freshmen in high school, and we actually shared a class together. We shared gym class.
P to the E.
Was that it?
Yeah.
I think it was just gym class, right? Mm-hmm. So guys, before we jump right into our story, let me just give you a little bit of back history concerning myself and dating. So I am one of 3 girls and I have 2 brothers, right? My parents had 5 children and I'm one of 3 girls. And let me tell you, they were like, no, dating is not allowed. You are not allowed to date. And I remember asking them, so when can we date? And I remember my mother saying, I think 18. And I'm like, really? But I'm like, okay. So we came from a very, I would say strict household. I would say strict Christian household, but it wasn't too strict. We were just obedient children.
All they watched was Little House on the Prairie.
I love Little House on the Prairie, okay? That's another video, but I love Little House on the Prairie. Have you even watched an episode?
Not one.
Oh, Tyler, you're missing out. You're missing out. It was such wholesome television, right? But anyway, I was not allowed to date. So entering into high school, boys was not on my mind whatsoever. I was really just into the books and going to church and stuff like that, and just into, having my girlfriends and stuff like that, my friends that I would associate with. And so when I came into high school, I actually shared a gym class with my soon-to-be hubby here. And I remember being in the gym class, and I remember we played dodgeball, and you were throwing balls at me, trying to hit me. You remember
That's
that?
how 13-year-old boys express love.
And let me tell you, I would never forget my father telling me, you know when a boy likes you when he does things like that. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm not allowed to have boyfriends, but there's this boy that's in my gym class that's hitting me with the ball, like dodgeball, right? So I'm like, okay, we were playing a game, right? So guys, he wasn't like intentionally trying to just like hit me here, but it was actually part of our curriculum in gym. And so I remember that, and I just remember that left a lasting impression on me. So much so that when we were out of school, am I missing some parts here?
No.
Okay.
But we were not able to connect freshman year.
No, we were not. But I just remember you doing that. I didn't know that you liked me at the time. I wasn't thinking about you.
All right.
I wasn't.
All right.
I wasn't thinking about you like that.
All right.
Like that. But when I went home, actually, for the summer, I was thinking about him. It was the weirdest thing. Like, I didn't realize that I was prophetic back then. But I remember the Lord, I know I hear people say, oh, the Lord told me this is my husband. But hey, I was 13. And I remember knowing the weirdest thing, like, oh my gosh, she's going to be my husband one day. And it kind of freaked me out a little bit because I'm like, I wasn't interested at the time, and I wasn't allowed to date. So it was like, it was just weird, right? But I remember I prayed for you the entire summer.
What, girl?
The entire summer, I prayed for him. I was just praying for him, and I was just always thinking about, I wonder what he's doing and things like that. So maybe I did have a little pitter-patter in my heart then. But then we came back for sophomore year, and then what happened there?
Yeah, so you know what? I was determined this time because when I first saw freshman year, I saw this skinny girl, chocolate mocha, with her gym shorts and just these long legs, and I was just like, man, I really like her. But I knew, the word was out that her dad was kind of crazy.
My dad is not crazy, and he was not crazy.
She said the 13-year-old boy said that your daddy was crazy, and you can't even call her house.
No, you could not
call her house. Well, she's going to face the fury of Mr. Perry.
That happened before one time. Oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed to go back to school one day. Don't you ever call my daughter ever again.
So sophomore year came around, and I just went for broke, man. Actually, funny story. My best friend, who was also the best man in our wedding, both liked this young lady. at the same time.
Yeah, that was weird.
Then a third friend, my boy Milton, appreciate you, Milt, appreciate you. He got in between us, and we talked this thing out, and we negotiated. Listen, I liked her first, man. And so we agreed that I should be the one to pursue Ty. And so I did. I went after her with reckless abandon. And I hired her twin sister to help me broker this deal. And guess what? Eventually, sophomore year, I got to know her a little bit better.
A little bit better.
A little bit.
So what happened was I was passed a note and a letter. And
Listen.
I think our kids nowadays, they don't know anything about
They don't know
these.
about no
Check
note
the box.
passing?
Yes, check the box, yes or no.
They too busy
if
texting.
You like me. Yes. And I remember receiving that. I remember seeing the box, yes or no. And I remember thinking, I can't date. No, I'm not allowed to have boyfriends, but thank you. I'm flattered a little bit. Thanks so much. But hey, we can be friends while we're here at school. And then we did just that. I remember did we have a class together sophomore year?
Yes, we had Mr. Rapp. English.
Okay, so we had English together. So I remember we were cordial, right? Mm-hmm. We were cordial, yeah, but there was no dating. I remember you wanted to take me out to the movies. And I'm thinking, how? We don't even drive.
True.
So was your parents going to drop you off at the movies? And then how am I going to ask my parents to drop me off? So that was a no-go, right?
Mm-hmm. Needless to say, though, I was falling head over heels for this lovely young lady. And I remember taking all my little money that I made from working over the summer. My mom took me to, I don't know where she took me, some convention center where they had a bunch of...
Probably like an expo or something?
Yeah, and I found out through the grapevine that she had a favorite perfume.
Yes!
And it was called Mackie.
Yes, Bob Mackie! I forgot about that.
So
I love that perfume back then.
I bought her
That's kind of aging us a little bit.
A small bottle of Bob Mackie.
Yes.
And a fake gold watch.
A fake gold watch that turned.
Fake than a mug. But you know what? That's all I could afford.
I was so grateful. Remember, I was so happy. Yeah. Oh my God, she got me my favorite perfume, and I wear that perfume every day.
And my favorite ally, your sister Taryn, allowed me entrance into your locker.
She did.
And I stuffed it in there as a surprise.
So we shared a locker, right? And when I went to open up my locker, I see this gift here. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this boy is spending his money on me. I can't have him do this. What am I going to do? I'm not leading him on. I told him I can't date, but my gosh, what do I do? But he's so nice, and I'm very appreciative. And so we were just really kind, right?
Yes, that's one way to call it. We were
really just kind.
We were boyfriend and girlfriend at school only.
We were not boyfriend and girlfriend.
You were my girlfriend.
Did I ever say?
I don't know.
Did I ever say that?
But
in your mind, you thought
you were my girlfriend during the day.
I was your girlfriend?
Yes.
How? Where did you get that from?
That's what I told everybody.
Where did you get? Right, that's what he believed. But I've never said that. Okay, never. We never kissed, never hugged, never held hands, none of that stuff.
A hug or two.
I probably hugged you and was like, thank you for the perfume. Thanks so much.
And that's all I needed.
That's all you needed?
It's fuel to the fire. But then we broke up.
In his mind, we broke up, okay? But anyway, then we enter into junior year of high school.
And that was rough.
Yeah, and then at that point, my parents were like, okay, you guys are old enough now. You all are 17 years old. You guys are good girls. We're just going to go ahead and just let you all date. But it was none of that stuff we had where we got to stay out late. I don't even know. I think it was just phone call type thing, right? And junior prom came up, and I went to junior prom with my then boyfriend. We're not going to mention any names.
It was not me.
He was not you. He was not you at all.
Junior year was a rough year for your boy.
Oh, and let me tell y'all. I almost said something, but I'm just in case there are people watching.
Tell the people.
That know it. But anyway, I went to prom junior year with someone and needless to say, we broke up that very same day. Needless to say.
Right after prom.
Because I have standards.
Girl?
I have standards,
Girl?
you all.
Yes.
And I'm just going to tell you all the story. You all want to know the story? I'm just going to tell you the story, okay? So I go out for prom, and we go out to dinner. We were downtown somewhere. I was with my sister and her boyfriend.
This has nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with you. And I remember when the bill came, my boyfriend at the time thought that he was going to be funny in front of all of the other couples and stuff I'm not paying for her meal. She good, she's straight, she got it. I'm like, is he really saying he's not paying for my meal and he's doing this in front of everybody? And I realized, wow, you don't really value me. My father always taught me, always said that you are the prize. And if a man does not make you feel like you're the prize, then he's not the one. And that's all I needed to see, y'all. Literally, I was shut down after that. I'm like, nope, we're done. And let me tell you, it was over. Never went back with him, never called him. I was like fed up. He apologized and everything, you know, and he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And my standards was just too high at the point. I'm like, no, you're not deserving of me. So anyway, I was happy with being single back again, you know, and so I was just focused on my schoolwork and things like that because honestly, I feel like a 17-year-old, you don't really, I don't know. I don't think you don't know what love is, you know, and so it just was not that important to me at that moment. But I remember my father always telling me that, you know, again, I am the prize, and you always treated me like a prize and as a prize, and you still do, you all. He will give me the world, and I'm grateful to God for that. I really, really am.
So we're going to fast forward right through my junior year because it was awful.
Yeah.
It was regrettable. It involved being arrested, quitting football.
And you're not
D's
even
and
like
F's.
that. He's not even that type of guy.
I just lost
He's very smart.
my mind.
Why?
I don't know. I still don't know to this day.
Was it because I was dating someone else?
I think it was your fault.
Was it my fault?
I think it was all your fault.
You're
'Cause we didn't
right.
even communicate much that year.
We didn't.
We were like on two opposite paths. But then senior year came and
Yep.
we were cordial. We were
Yeah.
friendly, just like normal.
Yeah, friends.
Like, what up, Ty?
Like, what up, Tyler?
What's happening? Your friends and my friends, we
Yeah.
hung out from time to time just on some normal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was time for senior prom. Now, I didn't go to junior prom because I was out of my mind junior year. That goes back to that whole thing. And senior year came around and I said, you know what? I ain't really trying to mess with nobody crazy. I want to go with somebody I can just chill and have fun with. And I instantly and only thought of this beautiful young lady. So
And
I said, I don't know, man. Maybe I should.
Yeah, and I was actually, me and a whole bunch of my girlfriends, we were actually going single. Like, nobody was bringing dates that year. We were, like, all excited. Like, yeah, we're going to prom. It's just going to be us. And, hey, we're going to be good. And then you approached me and you said, hey.
I spit my game,
Yeah.
shot my shot, and it worked. She
worked.
said yes.
I was like, okay, just know, like, okay, we're going as friends, no problem, right? And we did, and we had a wonderful time. Maybe we'll insert a picture of our prom picture.
All right.
Okay, we'll insert it.
And from there, things kind of blossomed.
Yeah.
We had a great time, like Ty said, that
Yeah.
night. We went to Great America
He
the next
paid
day.
for my dinner.
Come on, y'all, I paid for the meal.
Okay, yes, he did.
And we went and hung out at Great America the next day.
Yep.
We had a whole bunch of fun there.
We had matching outfits. Did
We
have
had matching outfits.
Yeah, we had the
sweater, red and blue.
Yeah, and white.
And white.
Yeah, we got
That's
it from
right.
the flea market.
Ah, yes, we did.
Yes.
Yes, we did. And from there, you know, we just kept talking. We kept communicating. And then I asked her on a date.
Yeah, he sure did. And I was like,
Do you
okay.
remember where we went on our first date?
To the movies.
Do you remember what we saw?
I remember what we saw, but we don't need to mention what we saw, okay? He loves
What was
to say
I
that.
thinking?
Yeah,
I don't know.
what was I thinking?
I don't know.
Like, jeez.
We
Like,
went to go see the Players
please
Club.
don't judge us, y'all. Like, we were
Yay!
young and foolish, okay? Like, what? I don't even remember what it was about. Was it a risky movie?
Yeah.
It was, see.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that, but
Yeah.
yeah, just foolish, right? But anyway, I remember that, but I remember also saying, okay, it's nice, he's asked me to go out and stuff like that, but I knew that he signed up to go to the military. And I always said that I never wanted to actually get into a long distance relationship with someone, especially, you know, if they're going in the military, because then I knew that they could live anywhere, you know, and I just didn't want to do a long distance relationship. I didn't think that was fun, and I don't know, I just was never interested in that.
But love prevailed.
Yeah, and I remember you actually saying to me, I don't know, did you write me a note?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. I think you wrote me, you gave me a card, and I remember you saying, as a matter of fact, I may still be able to have that card.
You may still
Yeah.
very well do.
And you said something to the point of, I know that you said that you'll never date a guy that's in the military because he'll have to travel a lot, but I was wondering if you would give me a chance.
I was wondering.
And that just melted my heart. I'm like, okay, maybe I can. Like, we went through this entire 4 years in high school, and we never got anywhere, so it's like, okay, let's do it, you know?
And we survived about a year.
About a year, and that was it. That was it, okay? So, guys, we broke up. Yes, we only lasted probably not even a year, and I just remember it was long distance, and it just wasn't working. You know, we were young,
Yep.
and I wanted you to be able to see the world, and I wanted to be able to see the world and witness the world, and I just didn't want, I felt like having a serious relationship at that age was just too
were
much.
pretty young. We were pretty
Yeah,
young,
it was
like
just too much.
19 and 20.
Yeah, it was just too much. So I'm like, no, I'm in college, you're away, let's just enjoy our lives, you know? And so I I don't think that things should be that serious.
So that's what happened. We
Yeah.
kind of lost contact there. I was establishing my career in the military. She was going through college, trying to get that done.
Yeah.
But eventually, somehow, I reached back out maybe
Yeah.
a couple years later just to say, hey,
You did. You
how
said, hey,
are
I'm
you?
going to be
What's
in town.
going on?
And I would remember, guys, my father never stopped talking about him. He always used to say, Ty, that's your husband. And mind you, remember when I was 13 and I was home for the summer from high school, I knew that he was going to be my husband. As much as I probably didn't want to accept it because it was frightening at that age, like, huh, what? You know, and I remember my father used to say, oh, Ty, he's your husband. And I used to get upset. I'm like, Dad, will you stop saying that? We're no longer together. I'm never going to date him again. I'm so past him. He's so past me. And I remember telling my mom, Mom, will you please tell him to stop saying that? And my mother was like, just leave her alone. Just leave Ty alone. And I remember I looked at my father and I said these words. And it was prophetic back then. I said, Dad, I can tell you this. I don't think that I'm going to marry him. But if you do see me walk down the aisle and talent is at the other end of that aisle before I say I do, then know that nobody but God did it. And I meant it. And I walked away because everything in me was saying it was never going to happen again. You know, I was okay with being on my own and you were okay with being on your own.
We had lost contact at that point.
Yeah, we did. And then I remember you came in town. You said, hey, I'm in town. And I think you came by our home, right? Yeah.
I think I called ahead, say, hey, and we just talked and we reconnected and we had phone calls, just friendly.
Very friendly.
Every now and then just to check in on each other and things begin to blossom again. I think one time I called at a sensitive time for you and I was able to be an ear for you. And that kind of re-sparked the fire.
Yeah, and I remember that he mailed me a book from T.D. Jakes called Maximize the Moment. And when you mailed that book to me and I read it, that book was so pivotal, especially in my walk with Christ at the time. It just really made me just even solidify my walk with Christ. And I was so sure that, this was a path that I wanted to be on. And I remember you gave me that as a gift and it just touched me. And we just started talking as friends. Like we would hang out as friends and then guys, before you knew it, we were back together.
I did it!
We were back together.
We were both at a place where we were trying to, me personally discover Jesus for myself. You were rediscovering Jesus for yourself, and that's where that book kind of came in because somebody gave me that book, and that allowed me to begin a relationship with Jesus on my own. So I was like, at that point, when you get saved for real, you want to tell people. So I told her, I just happened to be talking to her the next time. I was like, man, you got to check out this book. And so I sent it to her, and we began to talk, and we began to talk, and we began to talk. And then ultimately,
you were in Korea, as a matter of
Yes,
fact.
that was my first time out of the country. I was 21 years old. That it was like scary because I'm leaving the country. It was one thing to leave the state. Now it's another thing to leave the country. And so we exchanged letters during that time.
Yep.
You were like my lifeline back home.
Yep.
And then when I came back to the U.S., we made things a little more serious.
We did. So I was willing to go ahead down that route of having a long distance relationship again. And then he asked me to marry him and be his wife. And guys, that's a whole nother story. Should we tell him the proposal?
Do y'all want to know the proposal?
So guys, I used to watch all of the time, like proposals, like weddings on television. And I used to always hint like, man, I want a surprise proposal. Like, I just thought that maybe I would be taking on, this trip or out to a restaurant and the waiter was going to come out.
Yeah.
And so one day he actually came off the road. You were driving in from Texas and he came to my home. I was living at home with my parents at the time. And he came to my home and I remember we were in my kitchen. Yep. And that ring must have been burning a hole in his pocket because he pulled this ring out. We were in the middle of the kitchen right in front of the stove. And I was saying, am I seeing things? Like, in my head, I remember saying, is this really happening? Like, no, it's not supposed to happen like this. Put it up, put it away. And he was just like so excited, like, and I think you had plans to actually make it like a surprise.
Yeah, we were supposed to go out and do the whole dinner thing. Backstory, I was still in Texas at the time and a mentor had called me. He'd been my mentor this whole time. And he asked about Ty. And he said, man, how's Ty? How y'all still together? I was like, yeah, we still together. We know it's all good. Things are moving well. And he was like, so, when are y'all going to get married? I was like, married? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I was literally stuttering, trying to figure out, like, it didn't compute. The words that he was saying didn't register in my mind because, my mind was on my career, trying to figure things out, trying to go up the ranks. And I was just cool just dating and growing in that way. And I remember the next sentence out of his mouth kind of happened, and it seemed like slow motion. He said, "What are you waiting for?" And I was like, it felt like God was talking to me when he was talking to me, and I felt like God was just speaking through him. And I said, I don't know. And after that conversation, I went to the mall and I found the engagement ring. Because it was at that point, I was like, yeah, what am I waiting for? I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I wanted to marry Ty. So I got the ring, and it was close to me having the opportunity to come back home. I came back home, and I intended to take her out and do the whole little, But, we were sitting in the kitchen. I was like,
standing in the kitchen.
I'm doing it
right now.
right
In front of the stove.
Right now. I mean, the lights were dim.
Y'all. I was in my head, I'm like, is this really happening? I'm like, get up off the floor right now. But in my mind, it was all kind of things. It's like, what? Is he asking me to marry him? Like, is this really happening? And then it's happening in my kitchen in front of the stove. Like, I had all kinds of stuff going through my head at the same time. I was in college, and I knew that he was away, and I'm like, okay, how are we going to do this? All kind of things. And I remember you asked me, will I marry you? And I said, yes. You didn't hear me. He didn't hear me say yes.
I was like, huh?
I said yes.
What?
Like, I think every guy always goes through that, right? They don't hear you. But no, I said yes. And that was it, guys. We were engaged, and we were actually engaged for about 2.5 years.
Because about 9 months later, I got...
Not even.
Somewhere around there, I got orders that I was going to combat, and I was headed to Iraq to participate in Operation Iraqi Freedom. Therefore, wedding plans had to be put on hold.
And to me, it was not fun to plan a wedding while you have your soon-to-be significant other, basically fighting in a war, and
with no guarantee of return.
Exactly, fighting for his life and others' lives, and so I was like, no, that wasn't fun to me. I didn't want that added stress, and I didn't want to put that added stress on you, and so I'm like, no, let's just, put it off. And so we were actually engaged for 2.5 years.
Yep, because I spent 12 months out there in combat.
And then we gave you time to get back and get acclimated to where you were, and then you had to pack up everything and then move back up here to Chicago.
Yep.
And then by the time you moved back up here to Chicago, we were married in like 6 months.
Yep.
Yeah, and we've been living happily ever after, right?
3 kids
later. 3 kids later. We have a business, his and her money. We're changing basically the world through our ministry of financial independence and building wealth. And we're teaching couples how to become power couples and just empowering people's lives every day. And so I'm so grateful to God. And we've been married for almost 12 years. It'll be 12 years in June.
That's right. And
it's been one great of a ride. And just to see how our humble beginnings started in high school.
Gym class.
Yeah, right? That's why it's like, wow, you never know how God is going to, do anything, He puts people in your lives at just the right time. And
that is the story of our love.
That's our love story, guys. That's our love story. And this love story is going to continue
to be continued.
Forever. Pound forever.
Hashtag forever.
Pound Wakanda. I don't know why I want to say Wakanda.
Forever. Wakanda forever. So, man, we would love to know how you and your significant other met. Leave us a comment down in the comment section below. You know what? It's good to know these things because it
love is a wonderful thing.
And it's a good thing to celebrate love.
Love, that's right. And happy love,
Happy love.
I love that.
We love love.
Yes, we do, guys. Well, if you all enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it. Share it around, so spread the love.
Come on, man.
Let people see real
some
positive,
good examples out here.
Positive examples of people.
Ain't no reality show love. This the real love.
Love.
Huh?
That's the real deal.
Huh? Show this.
Although you do need your own reality show, okay?
Show this.
Silly, y'all. But anyway, guys, we hope that you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget, if you're new to this channel, subscribe to our channel. We would love for you to join our big happy family. And don't forget, meet us back here next Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where you will see the both of us sharing with you. And also, guys, leave us a comment in the comment section below letting us know what are some other stories that you would love to know about ourselves that maybe we have not shared, and we would love to share with you guys, okay? So, yep, throw that in there too.
All right, guys, that's all we got for this week. It's been great. Until next time. Peace. Oh, we got to do the heart.
Bye, y'all. Love.